Welcome back to Six Man Blitz. Got a great episode for you guys today. We're in studio today, J Huff's crib. One thing I saw on Twitter today, Clay Harbor, former tight end, he was like, gave up a trade for the Bears and the Falcons. I think it was like a 2024 fifth round pick, 2024 a third round pick too, a third and a fifth. Desmond Ridder for Justin Fields. You accepting that? That probably just fucked up your head.
Yeah, kind of fucked in my brain. Can you repeat that again?
A 2024 fifth round pick, a 2024 third round pick for Justin Fields, plus Desmond Ritter's in that deal too. Intriguing.
No, it's not. So a third and a fifth?
Yes.
For next year?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Not even a second.
It honestly depends. I feel like, he should stay the rest of the year and then...
Yeah.
Depending on Atlanta's record, just because, they look promising doesn't mean they'll last.
2-2 right now.
Exactly. So there's ebbs and flows to the season. They could find themselves,
get things back up.
Tanking,
right?
Or we could find ourselves trending upwards.
Who knows? Hey, you know how everybody be like...
This is Justin Fields' final season to prove that he is the long-term solution at quarterback.
Let's start off with some NBA talk. The Bucks and the Celtics, they made big moves last week. Jrue Holliday coming to the Celtics on Sunday. Is it set already? Eastern Conference Finals? Bucks, Celtics, you think?
Yeah. Subtracting injuries for sure. I mean, you
turn
look at
injuries sightings off.
look at the arms race. Jrue Holiday defensively is going to match up really well with Dame.
For sure. I think he locked him up a couple series too.
It's the Celtics' length in general. Obviously, they lose Robert Williams, but
big loss. Got Horford though.
Last year, I feel like they didn't use him as much as the year prior when they actually went to the finals.
They didn't use him till the Philly series, to be honest.
Yeah, so that's gonna hurt. But you got Porzingis, who had a really good defensive year last year. So
yeah,
man, I think both teams are built to stop each other. And I think that Dame Jrue Holiday matchup is going to be the tipping scales.
It's going to be a good-ass matchup.
For who wins, but I want to lean Boston if I'm being completely honest with you.
It's a hot take. I mean, you look at Derek White, too. He's an all-NBA guard, too. So they have two of them now. Derek White off the bench. So when he's in the game, he's going to be on Dame. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be really
Did they trade Brogdon?
Yeah, they did.
Okay. That makes sense.
I think they just who did they pick up? No, the Bucks picked up Campaign, which I like that move. Yes, him off the bench. I mean, people forget he was a bucket off the bench. Not for the Bulls, but for the Suns. Not for OKC either. He was doing the handshakes. So that was his time. So
the Suns, he was getting busy though.
For sure, he was like one of their best guys off the bench. Only guys off the bench.
Right.
So you would take Boston then?
Yeah, I think presently constructed, you look at what they added with Porzingis, and then you have the Tatum and Brown dynamic, and then you add Jrue Holiday to that too.
It's going to be nasty.
I mean...
Jrue isn't even ball dominant either. He's not taking the ball from him.
Can overcome them and win a finals, he getting up there. He getting up there for real on my Mount Rushmore personally.
Shit, top 4?
Just as a Bucks fan.
A new Bucks fan.
New? What you mean new?
I forgot Chris Middleton, your favorite player.
Nah, he was.
That's crazy. But now looking at Boston, looking at Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Dame and Giannis, if they don't get to the finals, is it a failure? Them being together.
Of course. Because you forced Jrue Holiday out. And then if he goes...
Grayson Allen, too.
Gets to the final.
White Knight.
If he gets to the finals, because I think it's clear who's going to... I can't see Philly being able to hang. I damn sure can't see Miami
later.
Being able to hang. So
Emo Jimmy. He might have some.
You talking about Porzingis?
Yeah.
And Jrue.
And okay.
And Jrue.
And Derek
You
White.
think Jrue going for Jimmy to go off like that?
No, he's not.
I mean, he did do that against Milwaukee, so
It did go off. But that Milwaukee didn't have Dame, who was going to give you 30 every night.
Man, and
At worst,
fuck when Giannis doing that, got the yips and shit, and he don't want the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You know exactly who gonna get that motherfucker.
And now Middleton is like the third best player now, where he's not the second scorer. You got another guy because Jrue Holliday, 19 points a game kind of guy.
Yeah,
but
he had some impressive offensive nights, like dropping crazy numbers, but
he was mostly
he's
defensive.
not like as consistent as a Dame who averaged like over 30 last year. So
he's going, that's consistent too. He gonna do that every year.
30-point average players on the same team. That shit gonna be crazy.
And who's taking final shot though, him or Giannis?
I think he will.
Okay.
Giannis to get the final. If it's a lob, Giannis gonna get that motherfucker. But outside of that, but he's a big, so
yeah, you don't really be shooting like that either.
Exactly. So that's what a big like him needs. He needed his Kobe, and Middleton was that for him that first run, but he ain't gonna get him.
Middleton was banged up last year.
He wasn't gonna be your go-to scorer the way he was in that finals run. At this point in his career, so you had to go get that.
Yeah. So now looking at Giannis and Dame together, though, are they the best duo in the NBA right now? It's tough. I think right now
I've heard the argument Jamal Murray.
They were good because how good they played together. Yeah, I get that.
And the chemistry, the on-ball chemistry, how they play off each other is insane.
The pick and roll, they just.
But if I'm imagining the Bucks with just how great they are at the exact opposite things, that shit is crazy.
It is.
So we're talking about two of the most elite people at what they do. Dame was scoring in clutch and deep threes. Giannis, just a monster around the boards, and is a nightmare in transition.
Yeah.
Shit. That's peanut butter and jelly as far as I'm concerned.
I know somebody was saying...
I might have to change my answer to that first question you asked me. Yeah, I like Milwaukee.
You talked yourself into it, huh?
Well, who's Milwaukee's third best player?
Middleton.
Who's the Celtics' third best player?
Porzingis?
That's one. And then who's their fourth?
Jrue?
So yeah, I'm a Celtics.
Middleton. I mean, the Bucks have Brook Lopez as their fourth best player.
They got Brook Lopez.
He's nice defensively.
But Middleton as my third.
Hey, but Brook Lopez, Al Horford, that matchup's gonna be interesting. Or Porzingis, you gonna back him up, back him down.
Porzingis gonna get busy.
Oh, maybe. He looked good. He looked happy in the Celtics uniform. Looked like he was motivated.
I mean, shit, that's a whip. I mean, look, you can't name other rosters as good.
No, but their bench is a little weak though right now. They still got Derek White though off the bench. Is gonna be nice
for sure. They're gonna and you know the old heads gonna come flocking.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta get some.
Isaiah Thomas gonna try to get on. No, he always like, hey, this team needs to sign me. Man. Hey, but
damn.
I like out of those two teams. I like Milwaukee. I like Giannis. I trust Giannis more. And I like their coach, the Adrian Griffin, I think the Raptors coach. I'm interested to see how he does in those moments. Because I know the Boston coach, first year in the mix, sometimes he was a little questionable with some of his play calling and stuff, just his game management. So it's going to be interesting to see how that matchup, those coaches, because nobody really talks about that. That's really important. You look at Miami Heat and Spoelstra, how he was able to coach in that matchup, and the Heat were able to get that nod. Winning that coaching battle.
Yeah, but you'd be surprised what 1 year of experience can do for you. So if he can learn from the mistakes,
for sure,
and overcome them,
yeah,
with the talent they have,
there's not too many teams better. Yeah, I mean, but I heard a lot of people say, "Yo, Ime Udoka leaving." That defensive identity the Celtics had was gone with Mazzulla in there now. Because he's more of like offensive coach. Defensive really isn't there. We saw that too last year. The teams were able to score on them a little better than they were with Udoka. But Jrue Holliday fixed that, I think.
Yeah, and Porzingis as well as a rim defender. Big, that's athletic. So And the wings,
scoring.
You can't go from one of the most dominant defenses to one of the worst.
Yeah.
A lot of that has to do with your effort. So it's not, the personnel ain't changed much.
No, it didn't.
It actually got better defensively. So they if they don't get that shit situated, that's a coaching issue then.
The only thing I'm worried about is their bench, the Boston's bench, but I think it's going to be an easy run for both of the teams to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Miami, I'm interested to see what they're going to do. Who knows? There's not too many guys. They might try to get Brogdon. I know they were trying to get Jrue Holliday, right? They made an offer to Portland, but the Portland like the Celtics offer a little better because Robert Williams was in there. 25-year-old rim protector. Him and Aiden's going to be nice. I like what Portland did with those deals. They got hella picks. The young talent they have. Scoot Henderson now in there, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do. But another Eastern Conference team, the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, Joel Embiid was asked at the media day, and he was like, I don't know, just like basically like, why are people just expecting Boston and Milwaukee to get there? We're still here, kind of. And I think everybody's expecting them to. I mean, and James Harden reports, Woj was just saying that James Harden is going to come to camp because they're finding his ass every day. He misses camp. He's going to show up to camp, but he expects to make their life hell. That's what Woj was reporting, that James Harden's going to be there, but it's going to be another Ben Simmons shit. He's got the fat suit ready. So what do you think they end up doing with Harden? They got to deal him, right? They got to trade him somewhere, right?
Yeah, cut his ass.
And one team that isn't interested is the Miami Heat. They already said they weren't.
I wouldn't be interested after this. I mean, it's just. And Dame said this in his interview on It Is What It Is. He was talking about how, that's just not something. Like, if I don't get my way, like, that's just not what extent I'm willing to go to.
And he's done it multiple times too, so he's dying by that extent.
To get what I want. Like, I don't judge people who do that, but that's just not how I'm going to conduct business.
Right.
And I just think it's a right and a wrong way to conduct business. You signed a contract, and now you like you wanted a long-term deal too, which is wild.
With that team.
But you're like, trade me. I'm like, what? I ain't trading shit.
Yeah. Daryl Morey, he's not going. You
devalued yourself too. Like, people
other organizations
think they could get you on a discount, and I just drop the bag on you. It's just, I mean, it's on Daryl Morey as much as James Harden because you took the risk. You knew what type of player he was. I mean, you've seen what he did in Houston. You've seen what he did in Brooklyn. So this shit ain't new, and you knew him. And then this is what happens though. You ain't realize what you was doing, and now I bit you in the ass.
Now he's doing it worse too. I seen a club. He was at a club, right? And you know how they had the signs like, "Oh, happy birthday," and said "fuck Daryl Morey." Right. That's just crazy, man.
That's what I mean. Shoot, that's sometimes what happens.
Yeah, and he's going a far length to it. But my thing is, I'm actually happy that Embiid didn't be like, "Fuck this team, I'm done. Let me request a trade," because he could have easily done that right now. But at media day, he's showing a good side. Like, I feel like we still got a chance. They picked up Kelly Oubre, decent signing.
Very decent.
But James Harden though, that situation, even if they move him, I don't see them being better than Milwaukee. Or they could get a whole ransom from the Clippers. They could get Terrence Mann, Norman Powell, but I still don't see them competing with Boston and Milwaukee. Not yet. Next year they have 2 open max slots, so they could get 2 players. If I had to predict right now, Pascal Siakam's coming because Nick Nurse is in Philly. So, he's going to get OJ Anunoby too. They have the money to get multiple players. But it's going to be a really interesting year with Philly. We're counting them out. Sorry, Embiid. Yeah. And I'm a Philly guy. I love Philly. I love the 76ers. I'm always rooting for them coming out the East, but last year was their year. Boston, it was a new year with their coach. That was your year to go all the way in. Fortunately, they missed their beat. Now Harden's going to pull out the fat suit again. So he's going to destroy that locker room with ease.
And the culture. I mean, motherfuckers gonna see it like, what dude on?
Yeah.
Like, that's a big ass distraction.
Very big. Just the whole, Daryl Morey's a liar. Fuck Daryl Morey. And that's his buddy. Harden and Daryl Morey were cool at one point.
Daryl Morey is a liar. And
in China, too.
Right.
No respect. But looking at the West, the Suns, the Warriors, the Lakers, what team do you see coming out the West to face? Milwaukee or Boston? You make your mind up.
I'm gonna be like that. I said Boston, man.
Okay, so who's
But
gonna
I'm a
face
Giannis
Boston?
fan. Damn, that shit crazy.
I'm saying I see both sides to it. It's hard to pick.
But I'm gonna go with the Nuggets to repeat.
Okay.
I think
I feel like
Porter
Bruce
is
Brown
only
though
gonna
is
get
a
better.
big loss though.
Bruce Brown is gonna be a huge loss.
They got the white.
But you can always find that next guy. Mm-hmm. You just got to find a good 6-man.
True.
But I'm not concerned. That's gonna hurt them because they have such a young nucleus that's only gonna grow from this. Jamal Murray another year off ACL surgery, KCP. And I think Michael Porter is only going to get better after
takes that next step. Man.
Yeah, after the confidence of getting a ring. So I'm excited about what Denver can do, and I think we might see a rematch of last year's Western Conference Finals with the Lakers. Unfortunately, as much as that pains me to see it,
we can't hate on Brown, man.
But they just built a very, very, very deep team. With a lot of different versatile players.
Christian Wood was a good signing, man.
Every signing they made this offseason, you could just tell people were excited to go play with the Lakers. So I can see both of those teams going.
Okay, I like that. I think it's gonna be Lakers Suns. Mm-hmm. I liked what the Suns did, getting Nurkic. He's a way better rim protector than DeAndre Ayton. And the game style that Ayton plays, Dominant Ayton, that's what he was calling himself and shit. What are you going to bring to Portland?
He be shooting them the free throw shots and them elbow shots. Don't even be nowhere near the rim.
But I think in the West, you need a rim protector. Nurkic, if he's healthy, he's a rim protector. He's a better defender. And I like some of the other guys they signed in free agency. Eric Gordon off the bench. We've seen him be good with the Clippers. So I like some of the moves they made. I really want them to get John Wall, man. I really want, get John Wall. He's free. He's not doing nothing right now. Him off the bench.
Nah.
You don't fuck with it?
He would be on the Clippers if it went well.
Yeah. But I think this is a guy just to keep in mind because he's not doing shit. DeMarcus Cousins, too. DeMarcus Cousins is still decent. Dropped 80 in China. Or wherever, Bangladesh, or wherever the fuck he was at. He put up numbers. But no, I really like what the Suns... He got a lot of scandals. He be out there doing some freak shit. But I like what the Suns got right now. The players they signed. All the players, the shooters, to pick up Wanobi, I think his name is. Asian guy, I forget his name.
But Dwight said, "I'm not gay, I'm freaky." I'm not gay though.
Crazy.
That's wild.
But no, I think Phoenix gets there. I like Bradley Beal and that. Kevin Durant, Booker together again for another year. They needed another guy. Chris Paul wasn't fitting that. So I like the moves they made. Frank Vogel's a pretty good coach. So I like the Suns to get there. The Lakers too. I like all the moves they made. So Suns, Lakers is my Western Conference Finals prediction. You got Lakers, Nuggets. Who you got winning?
I got the Nuggets.
Okay, Nuggies. I got the Suns. So I got Suns, Bucks. But yeah, I can't even do it. I was just thinking, maybe there's a chance the Clippers will get there. But I had to erase that shit from I'll still root for him.
Kawhi is one of my favorite players, but
he's robotic.
I can't trust a man that can't stay healthy.
I know. It's just tough because now he officially coming to camp. Him and Paul George are healthy, but this is their last run together. So hopefully they do something. Hopefully they prove me wrong. I've been supporting them since day one in LA, but we'll see. It's going to be interesting how the playoffs comes out. It's going to be interesting to see how the NBA transpires. But let's get to the NFL. Let's talk some 49ers, they look pretty good. Mm-hmm. Christian McCaffrey is probably one of the biggest reasons why they look so good. I mean, he's just putting on a clinic. 14 straight games with a touchdown. I think he's looked better with the 49ers than even he did in Carolina.
Oh, that goes without saying.
That might be a hot... It's not a hot take? I thought it was a hot take. Of course not. Just the numbers he's putting up, the offensive line is,
Yeah, the offensive line is going to be better. And then the stage he's playing on. You know what I'm saying? This is the San Francisco 49ers. One of the most storied franchises in NFL history. Yeah. So, you see him doing that and doing it on the level he is.
Got your light on.
That shit's impressive. And he is their best player offensively. Arguably on the team.
And I thought Nick Bosa was the best player on the team. But no, or Trent Williams. But McCaffrey has just been different. And, we both play fantasy football. So it was hard, thinking about picking him first or close. But if you pick Christian McCaffrey this year at the running back position, probably pretty fucking happy. He put up like 48 this week, consistently giving you touchdowns, 100 yards rushing too. He leads the league in rushing right now. So, I mean, he's having a great year. You think he can win MVP?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's a quarterback's game. You've seen what Josh Allen did against Miami. You got to put him at the top of that list. See what Kansas City was able to do with Mahomes and just the lack of talent at receiver he has compared to, say, a Josh Allen or a Burrow. I mean, he's not hoping.
Yeah.
He finds a way to win. If it takes running that bitch, I'm running that bitch. Like, I'm literally I'm exploiting whatever the defense wants to give me.
Yeah.
And I'm taking it to another level. So he is just playing at an all-time high with so much less around him. It's wild. I mean, he's getting the ball to everybody. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
nice.
I also like what Lamar is doing. So if
Lamar is playing good too.
Yeah, people are sleeping on Lamar. I mean, he's going crazy too. And he's throwing. I think he's leading the league in completion percentage, too.
He's efficient, too. Zay Flowers has looked good, so I like the talent around. Yeah.
So it would have to be because, the quarterback play was down across the board for him to win, and that's not the case. But I think he'll win, Offensive Player of the Year, for sure.
Yeah, I think so, too. That's a good nod for him. The Bengals are starting the year... They're 1-3 right now. How do you feel about that? Are you concerned? Are we hitting the panic button on this team? There are a lot of injuries. Burrow has been banged up with his calf injury. So what are your thoughts on this Bengals team right now?
Yeah, I'm concerned because they kind of sacrificed the long term for the short term, especially with Joe Burrow signing such a big deal.
Big ass deal, yeah.
I mean, what they come out 500 in the first 4 games?
Yeah.
So I think they're just trying to get to the bye. It must not be that big of a deal. It just needs time to rest, and hopefully that can happen when they have their bye.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's worth the risk. But it's like when a guy gets hurt right before the season, you've done so much to build up to that point, to where all you got to do is go play, and you got a Super Bowl roster.
Yeah.
It's just I get the idea how you want to kind of push through it, but it's like you could have you could have went 0-3, and maybe in 3 weeks he could have been.
That's what 100%. I'm saying. You guys are bad right now, but you could have let Joe Burrow get healthy.
And then you win last week, or you steal one. However you get it, you know what I'm saying. But shit,
that Titans game was bad.
I don't know. We don't know enough about how long it would take to heal, or there's just too much. That we don't know, or at least I don't personally. So it's tough to say, but I think I would have let him sit on ice and let's get this run game figured out, because we've struggled to do that consistently.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, think just Burrow, this Bengals team, they're gonna get healthy. They've started slow like this every fucking year. They always pick up at the end. So I know a lot of people with fantasy implications on this Bengals team. They're thinking, Burrow, let me try to trade his ass. Mixon, just got him in a deal. Thank you, Jacob. T. Higgins having that rib injury, him having that first game. They played some really good defenses, though. So, the Browns and the Ravens. So, their defenses they played have been really good. The Titans just shut their ass out. So, I expect them to pick it up. But you're running out of time. 1-3. This Ravens team, if Lamar's healthy, they're winning that fucking division. The Browns going to be right behind them too, with how good they've looked defensively. Last game against the Ravens, Deshaun wasn't playing, and they let the young buck out there, and it's bad performance, but can't knock him on that because the Ravens defense is really fucking good, and some about the game plan and stuff was off. But no, yeah. So Bengals concerned right now, but I have faith they'll get better. Let's stay in the AFC though. Buffalo or Baltimore? Who do you trust more to get over that hump and compete in the AFC and go to the Super Bowl?
Man.
Because Buffalo just lost Tre'Davious White though for the year, Achilles, but they deep as fuck on defense though still.
They're still deep, pause, but
glad you covered that up.
I think just that could easily be our AFC championship, but they could. I think I trust Josh Allen a little bit more as a passer than Lamar still. Mm-hmm. And I trust him to be healthier down the stretch too.
Yeah, he's a big ass.
So I'm gonna have to lean Buffalo. And Buffalo, especially how they just bust Miami ass. I mean, like that shit wasn't even fair.
That shit was personal, bro.
It was extremely so. What Josh Allen was able to do in that game. I don't think he'll have as much success against that Baltimore defense, but
it's championship.
I'm gonna have to lean Buffalo just after the performance they put together Sunday.
I'm gonna say Baltimore, but you're right about trusting Josh Allen to be healthier. But Baltimore, I feel like their ceiling is higher. They can because Buffalo gets into the playoffs, they choke, a lot of dysfunction there, but Baltimore gets in the playoffs with the healthy Lamar, and they get the guys around them healthier because they've been, winning these games with Linderbaum out, some of their guys out. Marcus Williams is dealing with injuries, so they're not at their best, but they're still, playing good. The Colts loss was the Colts are frisky as fuck, but the Texans win was dominant, beating the Browns how they beat them defensively, and Lamar looked really fucking good against that defense too. So when they get healthier, trust me, this is the year Lamar is going to get over the top, I think. If I had to guess. I have him going to the Super Bowl, facing off with the 49ers, but I think this has got to be the year. This has got to be the year. Just got paid.
Yep.
This is his shot.
For sure. The Chiefs look like they're struggling. Mm-hmm. Or they have a chink in their armor more so than they've had in the past, even though they're putting together wins.
Yeah.
But yeah, the AFC is definitely wide open. I don't see Miami being as good as they
or sustaining it.
Yeah, I don't see them being able to sustain that. But who I do like is the Chiefs, Buffalo, and the Ravens.
Okay. You can't go wrong with those three. What do you think about the young quarterbacks though? The young guys, the Texans with C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson. The AFC is full of great quarterbacks.
Those are my favorite.
Those two guys.
Some of my favorite players to watch. I mean,
Anthony
just the
Richardson.
Development. Anthony Richardson. I mean, good.
He scores a rushing touchdown every touchdown
too. I mean, he looks like a guy, like a guy's guy, like a Nick. A motherfucker that's you supposed to ride into the sunset with.
Holding hands too. But no.
But that's what I see in them. I don't see in Justin.
Yeah.
Do you feel the same way?
Dude, fucking even.
Do you feel the same way? Tell me.
I don't want to answer that. I still love Justin. Dude, I still love Justin, man. I can't answer that. But I get what you mean. And I'll say this. I can't answer your question, but I'll say this. C.J. Stroud is the best Ohio State quarterback to come in the league. I'll say that.
Stroud is like that.
Fourth in passing yards right now. The comparison right now for him as a rookie quarterback is Justin Herbert. The rookie season he had, you look at, like I said, fourth in passing yards right now as a rookie quarterback in Houston with 3 offensive lineman starters out. Who's his receivers he's throwing to? Nico Collins is a star now because of C.J. Stroud. Nico Collins is like 5th in receiving yards too.
Man,
400
steal.
Tank Dell too. He didn't have the best game this week. I was rooting for him to have it because I just started him finally, brought him off my bench. But he, had a down week this week, but he's been really good too. I mean, props to the offense coordinator. I think it was the QB's coach with the Niners. I could be wrong. Correct me in the comments. I know some of y'all be liking to do this.
Please check this nigga.
But no. I think the Texans. I can rave about them for so long, bro. They got the quarterback. They got the coach. DeMeco Ryans is a good fucking coach.
Agreed.
Then they have the defensive cornerstone piece, Will Anderson. I think that was a good pick. Blocking field goals, getting sacks. So, but they've knocked it out the park. And just him in the press conferences, just how he answers the questions. You hear what he said? He's like, I want the Texans fans to have the same pride and swagger we do. I don't want them to go out there being blue about a loss like I am about the Lakers or something. So just that he's different, bro. I don't want to be glazing.
That shit down. Ain't nobody. What you just said?
I don't want to be glazing, but he's good. He's the answer.
That was crazy.
And I think the same thing about Anthony Richardson too. But because C.J. Stroud is definitely the better passer. But just Anthony Richardson, he shows the signs of like he needs to get better and just the accuracy and stuff sometimes. But he is still what he is right now coming out of college. We were so hyped about Anthony Richardson. The ceiling. He could be the best quarterback fucking ever, combined with the Cam Newton, Lamar together, and just the level of play he could be at. Right now, what I'm seeing from him, really impressed. He preseason it was a little shaky, but he's been really fucking good too. So those two quarterbacks, I'm really happy at the performances we've been seeing from them. Bryce Young has struggled though, so things hasn't looked too good for him.
As I expected, right? I mean, he doesn't have much of a receiving core, or offensive line, so or a run game, because Miles Sanders has underperformed.
Offensive line too.
They overpaid for his ass.
Yeah.
So yeah, they suck, and they gave up all their assets to get him too.
You could definitely use DJ Moore. Thank you.
Oh, for sure. But no, yeah, we'll for sure appreciate that.
but yeah, go ahead.
You go ahead.
Just looking at him though, the accuracy there is there. He's got some good throws he be making in the game. It's just when he gets sacked, he ain't running from nobody. Harrison Smith comes slapping his ass. Where Anthony Richardson, C.J. Stroud, the bigger quarterbacks can break off of it. Justin Fields, those kind of quarterbacks that are mobile can get off of it. Bryce Young, he's a little. He can't get off those those sacks that are coming after him. So he's getting sacked at a higher rate and at a bigger level. But I still think there's some good in that. But he's just not playing to the level of these other quarterbacks.
And he's not able to extend at this level either.
No.
As well as he was in the SEC. So that was one of his best tools was just how he moved in the pocket and how he was able to extend plays.
Yeah.
Not to run, but to throw. Mm-hmm. And he's been getting his little ass gobbled up.
playing with his ass.
He little as fuck. I told you this what happened.
Yeah, it's been tough.
They would have to put the best offensive line
49ers?
in front of him.
That kind of offensive line.
For him to have success. He's tiny.
Yeah. And what they got out there is not going to cut it.
At all. So he's really tough. In a lose-lose situation.
Yeah, I think he could still have a good career. Hopefully he turns things around.
I'm saying year like this year.
Yeah.
For sure.
But we hope that it's as bad as possible, though, this year because we have their first pick.
Yes, sir.
So we hopefully this shit don't get
they ass. We competing with them. They'll probably bust our ass.
Don't say that.
Because their defense going to come, and our defense ain't shit. They're going to make Bryce Young look like we should have got rid of Justin Hills earlier.
Thielen will do that to our ass. Thielen will have a good game.
I hope he do. He on my bench.
But no, yeah, just what we seen from Stroud and Richardson has been great. Hopefully Bryce Young picks things out this season, next season, more importantly. But let's go through a little quick thing. Let's break down some teams. Are they contenders or pretenders? We can go through this quick. Okay. Let's start with the Bucks. 3-1. Contenders or pretenders?
I'll say contenders just because based on who they've played.
They played some good teams.
Yeah.
Scratch off the Bears.
Yeah, they beat the Vikings.
Beat the Bears.
They beat the Bears and they just beat the
Saints,
which is a division rival. So, and they beat them.
They usually have their numbers too. Yeah,
they beat them pretty well. So
great defense too.
With Alvin Kamara back as well, so they're the favorite to win that division in my eyes. Baker's
Atlanta,
played well.
That quarterback has been terrible.
Above expectations. Their defense is still their defense.
I think I look at them more as a pretender, to be honest. But I could see what you're saying.
They win the division and they lose in the first round. I could totally see that happening.
I could see that happening too. Baker's just been really impressing me this year with just his performance and how he's had that locker room too. Guys around there buying into him.
True.
So I think, that I didn't expect to the level it's been. Mike Evans, hopefully he gets back, but they have good offensive talent. Their offensive line is a little shaky, but I just think, I'm leaning more to the side pretenders because I don't see how long they can sustain it. I don't see them. I think just the word contenders in my mind, I can't see it being led by a Baker team.
You don't think he can win the division? Who you like to win the division?
I think the Saints get it together.
Saints figure it out?
I think the Saints figure it out.
I don't dislike that.
But right now, if the season ended today, they'd be a contender. So I can see what you're saying. Next team, Cleveland Browns. If Freak Man is healthy.
What was he hurt with?
Shoulder injury.
So I think they're a contender just because how electrifying their defense can be. I mean, what they lose by 23 or some shit?
Yeah.
And their defense still gave me 6 points. So
they scored touchdowns too, then.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm gonna keep them at a contender, and it was one game, backup quarterback.
Yeah.
So I'll keep them in the contender spot, but I like the Ravens to take that division, and they probably have to get in where they fit in.
Yeah.
As a wild card, though.
Yeah, I like them to get in as a contender too. They're like an AFC dark horse for me because Deshaun, if he's playing to the level he was against the Titans, it's a hard team to fucking beat. Myles Garrett, defensively, they're secondary, bro. They're fucking loaded at their secondary. Del Pitt's hooping. So I really like this team moving forward. Deshaun's, I think he's going to get better and continue to play better. Because you look at the game they lost against the Steelers. I mean, they gave up they've only given up like one touchdown before this Ravens game. They lost the Steelers game because of the 2 defensive touchdowns the Steelers had. So I like them as a contender.
They're 2-2?
Yeah, 2-2 right now. What do you think about the Lions?
Oh, for sure, contender.
I threw them in there because I'm hating.
The third best team in the NFC. You know what I'm saying? I think defensively they're not as elite as the top 3, though. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to have to hold the Eagles and the Niners and the Cowboys above them, but I think they could easily get into the playoffs, but I don't think they're as talented. I don't think they're as talented defensively as the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And could you imagine, Micah Parsons going after Jared Goff? Shit.
That offensive line, they hold their own every now and then, but Jared Goff, I don't trust him too much in the playoffs either. We haven't seen this team in the playoffs either yet. So the moment
You don't trust Jared Goff? He went to the Super Bowl.
Hey, he had McVay as his coach, man. And that Todd Gurley was hooping that year too. Yeah. That offense was really fucking good. So that just makes me think. The Rams. You got them as a contender or a pretender? Right now, Puka Nacua, he's a contender himself.
Yeah, I want to say contender, but
you see them making the playoffs?
I think I like Seattle more than them.
I do too.
And I definitely like the Niners more than them. So they'd have to be
in the wild card.
In the wild card, and there's 2 teams in their division better than them. So
Seattle's nice.
I'm gonna have to go with pretender with them.
Okay. Piggyback on that other one, the Lions. I think they're a contender. I'm gonna stop hating on them because Ben Johnson, he's doing his thing. But back to the Rams, I like them. I don't see them as a contender though because I don't see them going far with that defense. They got Aaron Donald, but that defense is young. A defense gives up a lot of points too. Right. So I mean, Anthony Richardson was carving them up too. Mm-hmm. He looked nice. So I don't see them getting that far. They could make the playoffs for sure. Matthew Stafford looks good. Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp when he gets back, it should be lethal, those two. And McVay is always gonna dial up something crazy. So I like them to compete, but I'll say pretenders right now. Yeah. Texans. Pretenders?
Yeah, for sure.
Pretenders? Hey, 2-2. The teams they beat have been decent too. Well, the Steelers.
I'm not saying they ain't gonna be solid and competitive, but
yeah, they keep winning though.
They're not contending for any. Oh, you know what? They could run away with that division if they wanted to.
They beat the Jags. Trevor Lawrence keeps struggling.
Yeah.
And that offense keeps struggling. So it's not, and the Titans too. I don't know, but their schedule, they don't have too many games where you're like, this is automatically an L. So I think they can compete. DeMeco Ryans. Imagine though, he takes that team to the playoffs. Him and Stroud.
That would be wild. Win the division.
Win the division. Go to the playoffs after the Jags just got Calvin Ridley.
Man, they got to figure that shit out. Just how to bench Trevor Lawrence ass. Mm-hmm. Come on, man.
Had to make an adjustment.
You ain't out there balling. Like, I was
you thought Calvin Ridley
MVP campaign. I'm like, this guy. If I had some money, I'll put it on him to win
MVP. Fields. I'm glad I didn't make that bet.
Me too, shit.
But hey,
ass out.
Let's not speak too soon because he just threw 4 touchdowns the last game. He could pick it up. Hopefully he does. But let's get to the next team. Chargers. You think they're a contender? No. I think they're 2-2 now.
As long as they have that horrible coach, they will always be pretenders.
Khalil Mack could have 6 sacks in every fucking game.
Well, that Vegas team is horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. If we play them, it's gonna be another ass off.
Ass off.
That'd be another ass off.
Yeah, they're really bad. Defensively, they give up so many points. J.C. Jackson's a healthy scratch. He's one of these dudes that they give a bunch of money to. And, Matt Eberflus is a defensive coach, giving up hella points. Brandon Staley's a defensive-minded coach, giving up hella points with a talented defense, too. At least I think. At least I think they got some talent on that defense. But so I think the Chargers are pretenders, too. I made a prediction, I don't know if I posted this or not. It might be just in the draft still. I thought the Chargers are not going to make the playoffs this year.
They're not going to win the division. That's guaranteed.
No, they'll never win the division.
So let's get that out the way.
Okay.
And then you look at the rest of the AFC. They're going to have to compete with the best of the best. There's going to be a lot of 10-plus win teams competing for that.
Yeah.
8, that 5, 6, 7 spot.
And I like them. I like the Browns over them. I like the Bengals to pick it up and get over them. So I like a lot of teams in that AFC, the later stretch.
I don't think the Bengals make the playoffs this year.
You don't? I don't know. Unless Joey B show me something different. I will say they won't make the playoffs if they lose the next 2 games. But if they're always going to have a shot to make the playoffs.
For sure.
Because they're just that good. There could be question marks about their coach too now. Like some shit, he's getting exposed as a good coach. What you think about that?
I mean, he literally turned around a program, and it's become a powerhouse.
Yeah, true. It's just
that don't make sense.
Just some shit I've been seeing. That's my personal opinion. But yeah, those are the contenders and those are the pretenders we have for the NFL. But I think that's all we got for the show today. Keep checking out with our content. Keep posting. Videos are coming out. Bears, Commanders. Thursday we'll have a recap of that and thoughts about that. Huff's post game show. But content's gonna keep dropping. Like I said, stay tuned with it. Stay tuned with our Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that info. And make sure you keep being a loyal supporter. But that's all we got. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. As always, peace. Now, I don't think they'll fire Getsy. I don't think they'll fire Eberflus because this is a short week. There's a lot of season left, but they deserve to be fired for sure. Eberflus, I get going for it on that situation. I get it. I'm cool with you going for it. but why waste the timeout too? And the play call, shotgun on a 4th and 1 handoff.